a special way.
Attention, please. We'll get started shortly. We're just running a little behind with the gowning of the graduates, but we will get started soon. If I can ask everyone to move to their seats quickly, so as soon as those graduates come in, we can get started. Thank you.
Sweet as the gravity
All right, let's blow this popsicle stand, right? Waited too long. You guys have been studying for years. Why do we want to wait another 15 minutes? All right, so welcome and good afternoon. My name is Megan Johnson. I'm the National Graduations Industry and Alumni Manager. My pleasure to welcome you here this afternoon. Before I start the briefing, I want to thank you for attending and assisting us with meeting the COVID-safe requirements. It continues to be challenging for all of us. In addition to the restricted numbers and physical distancing, we have modified the ceremony to avoid handshaking. No handshaking. Before the academic procession enters the hall, could you please turn off your all mobile phones or turn them to silent? Good. This afternoon we don't have a fire drill planned, so if at any stage you hear an alarm or alert tone, please stand by in case of evacuation. If we hear a second or different alarm or alert tone, then we need to be ready to evacuate. Don't panic, follow the instructions of the fire wardens. So to our graduates, congratulations, you made it. So, I do apologise for the confusion with seating, but you should all be now in an allocated seat. We're going to check very carefully as you approach the stage to make sure you're in the right order and that you do get your correct diploma. Promise. Take a master's? PhD, anyone? Yeah. How much? Oh, no. Okay, so you're currently sitting in your allocated seat. Please do not move from this spot from now. Okay, during the conferral of awards, we will ask you to stand, turn to the right, and stay in correct order towards the stage. There will be someone from the gowning company that will make sure your gowns are straight and that you look presentable. Please bring the place card with you. It has your name on it. Ignore the seat number, but you're going to give it to Melissa before you enter the stage. Yep, and she'll make sure that your name is the one that's called out. Leaving already. Okay, so when your name is called by the academic, walk to the centre of the stage. Damien's going to do a demonstration. Walk to the centre of the stage. The dean will be standing there holding your diploma like this, or your certificate like this, and just hold on to the other side of it. Look to the photographer and smile. Photographer may take more than one photo, so don't be in a hurry to leave the stage. This is your moment. Make the most of it, okay? Then don't forget your testament. Take that with you and exit the stage. So you can see Damien walking up the stairs behind the back of the sound booth. Can you see him? And then you'll meet Tammy and Elise, and they're going to give you a gift before returning to another seat. So we're going to get you to sit in the row behind you, just in case people are still leaving your row in particular. When you go back to the seat, I know we're a little limited for space, but try to be COVID safe as well. Was there any questions about that important part of the ceremony? All good? At the conclusion of the ceremony, everyone will be asked to stand for the academic recession, whereby the academics on stage will exit via the middle aisle. We then invite all graduates to follow behind the academics, and I'll guide you with that. Now to everyone, today is your day. So to family and friends, I say please feel free to express yourselves in congratulating the graduates. They deserve commendations for their achievements after much personal sacrifice. You're welcome to take photos of the ceremony. However, we do ask that you remain seated throughout and keep the aisles unobstructed to assist with the smooth running of the event. Now, with those aspects now covered, it's time to get on with the ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the academic procession.
Thank you. Please be seated. Good afternoon and welcome to the 2021 March graduation ceremony for the Australian College of Applied Psychology. My name is Andrew O'Brien and I'm the Sydney Campus Manager and Master of Ceremonies for this afternoon's proceedings. I think as part of the briefing, Megan would have asked you to turn your phones to silent. I'd like to ask you to turn your hashtags to hashtag ACAP Grad21. I would like to offer a special welcome to those watching the ceremony via live stream. COVID-19 has presented many challenges and whilst we would love to have had more family and friends in the auditorium, we want to thank everybody, family and friends, for the support for our graduates, and we are pleased to be able to provide the online viewing for those unable to join us in the hall today. COVID-19 has brought us many innovations, and to be able to watch online and for those of us here to see the replay afterwards is one step forward in a challenging year. It's now my great privilege and honour to welcome Uncle Brendan to deliver a welcome to country. Uncle Brendan.
Thank you for that. I'm just wondering if any of the ladies and gentlemen on stage has that song as their ringtone that we walked in. Yeah, good afternoon everyone, my name's Brendan Kieran. I'm a cultural representative of Metropolitan Aboriginal Land Council in Redfern, and my role as cultural representative is 1, performing welcome to countries, and 2 is with smoking ceremonies. You're not getting the smoking ceremony today, you're getting the welcome. Before I begin with the welcome, I'd like to share a little bit about my story and my connection to country. I feel as though when you're being welcomed by somebody, it's important to sort of know a little bit about that person. So I was born at Crown Street Women's Hospital at Surrey Hills in 1970, and from that hospital in 1971, I was taken from my mother from that hospital. I've never met her. I found her grave, and I'm one of 10 siblings that have been removed. I'm actually 2nd generation that's been removed as well. So my mother, my aunties and uncles also removed. So in my journey of identity, for 40 odd years, I haven't had a place to call home, so to speak. I haven't had family. Yes, I've had foster families and adopted families, but I've never had that mirror image. And I've also sort of known at a very young age that you know, I didn't have that feeling. So my adopted family, they fostered me, and then they had 5 of their own. So I always said I took a lot of the stress off the old man, but I think I gave him a bit of stress too the older I got. So I've lived in Sydney my whole life. I love Sydney. You've only just got to go down the road here and have a look at one of the most beautiful harbours in the world, Sydney. But as I said earlier, look, that's a little bit about my story. As I said, I've never met my mother. I've met 3 brothers, 1 sister. None of us talk due to the trauma of what's happened to them growing up. And out of the 7 aunties and uncles I have, I've only got two left alive. The eldest one and the youngest one. And the youngest one, unfortunately, has had mental health care for the last 30 years. So it makes it a bit hard to form that family relationship. It is a lifetime of trauma. My kids will never have a grandmother. My kids will never have uncles and aunties. My children will never have that relationship with their cousins. So my family unit starts with me. I do make sure that my children know exactly where we come from. And today I'm proud to say that I'm Murrawara language group of the Barkindji Nation. Barka actually means Darling River. Barkindji means Darling River people. So my mother's country, my country, is Lake Victoria, which is down in the border of New South Wales, South Australia and Victoria. So we're the Darling River people, from Wentworth right through to Wilkenya, Lake Mungo. That's also my country. So I'm now proud to be able to say that. But I'm here this afternoon to perform a welcome to country. Now, the land that we're gathered on here today is Gadigal land. Gadigal is one of 29 language groups which makes up the Eora Nation. The boundaries for the Eora Nation start from the lovely harbour and are surrounded by, I always say, 3 of the world's most beautiful rivers. We head out to the Hawkesbury River, the Nepean River and the Georges River. And in between those 3 mighty and beautiful rivers, we have the Eora Nation, consisting of 29 language groups, and the name of the language group that we're gathered on here today is Gadigal. So on behalf of Metropolitan Aboriginal Land Council, on behalf of its board and its members, I'd like to welcome everyone here today to Gadigal land. On behalf of myself as an Aboriginal person, I'd also like to welcome everyone here. For me, a welcome to country, I'm always honoured to be able to perform that, because 10 years ago we would never have had a welcome to country or that acknowledgement of country. And I know for a fact that 10 years ago you would never have had that performed by such a good-looking bloke as myself. So once again, welcome everyone and congratulations. And thank you for the powers that be for having me perform this welcome to country. Thank you.
Uncle Brendan, just before you do depart, I first of all would like to thank you very much for sharing your story, and to you and the Metropolitan Local Aboriginal Land Council for a lovely welcome, and thank you very much. We are gathered in this hall or auditorium this afternoon to celebrate the academic achievements and professional development of a large and significant number of our students. To begin our celebration, I invite Mr. George Garrett, our CEO of the Australian College of Applied Psychology, to welcome our distinguished guests, our graduates, family, friends, academics and professional staff of the college. George.
Thank you, Andrew. Esteemed guests, colleagues, graduands, family and friends, it's my pleasure to welcome to this wonderful occasion in the life of our graduands. Today represents the culmination of great commitment, effort and dedication by each graduand sitting here before you. The achievement for which all of you should be immensely proud. To the graduands, whilst this is your day and your achievement, I want you to remember those who have helped you along the way. Your family, your friends, your ACAP educators and ACAP staff. To the many wonderful academic staff and educators, thank you for all that you've done to educate and open the minds of our graduates. To the library teams, to the sales and admissions staff, to the marketing team, our accessibility and student learning support team, to the IT team, our student engagement team, our placements team and our campus managers, to the often unseen people in the various administrative tasks that helped our graduands reach this day, I want to thank you. I hope you have made connections. I hope you have connected with your educator, your professor, ACAP staff, your industry, and of course your fellow graduands. Connections can be very powerful in life. They can open doors, they can help with a problem, they can refer a client, and they can keep you grounded. For me, I had the fortune of making a long connection with this college well before I started working here. You see, my connection was that my mother sat where you are 21 years ago as a graduate of ACAP. So you never know where and when a connection will help you. So I've asked you to remember those who have helped you along your learning journey, and I've asked you to make connections to additional skills on top of all that you have learnt. After today, we're proud to call you alumni. So stay connected with ACAP and share your experiences as you continue to achieve. I want to wish you best of luck in your chosen career, profession, project, practice, or adventure. Thank you.
Thank you, George. And now, on to the conferring of awards. Today's ceremony is one of the most ancient ceremonies of higher education. It is the formal presentation of candidates by the faculty, represented by a leading academic from each discipline, to the academic dean representing the authority of the college to confer awards. We begin with a presentation of awards in the discipline of social work. And I invite Dr. Gertz Ottman, Discipline of Social Work Chair, to present the graduates to Dr. Craig Ellis, our Dean.
Dr. Ellis, I present to you candidates for the Bachelor of Social Work. Nelsie. Ivy Aller. Divthed Singh Bajwa. Marie Siampa. Chelsea Ray Kent. Josephine Rosemary Valenti. Dr. Ellis, I present to you candidates for the Bachelor of Social Work Honours. Alice Jean Langton. Dr. Ellis, I present to you candidates for the Graduate Certificate of Human Services. Daniel dos Santos Payos. Chiom Winifred Nkechi. Dr. Ellis, I present to you candidates for the Master of Social Work. Alison Franks. Dr. Ellis, I present to you candidates for the Master of Social Work qualifying. Samiksha Acharya. Blessing Olamide Adesina. Anushya Adhikari. Cinderly Anglib. Justin Obina Anumiri. Anisha Bajracharya. Lavender Bates. Anis Ahmed Bukti. Eunice Cespedes. Yoon Yung Choi. Anjit Trudell. Josephine Sircosta. Namrata Damija. Sitalokule Dube. Sunita Garti Maga. Anu Gurung. Prabina Gurung. Sumita Gurung. Irene Gayani. Bimala Gurung Hamal. Ma Andrea Hisola. Katie Jeffs. Ashmita Casey. Babaldeep Kaur. Parina Lal Kumani. Pallavi Kshatri. Rijan Lama. Amrit Lama Lo. Jessica Lay. Anjana Manandar. Sanjita Noipain. Anu Nirmala. Diana Carolina Ubando Duarte. Sampada Pandi. Bindu Pokerel. Angela Cristina Portillo Quattrociocci. Sadiq Podel. Hannah Raful Kauri. Raisul Imam Rafti. Alnay Reyes Rodriguez. Nur Esifat Samina Haq. Pratiksha Sapota, sorry. Sanju Sapkota. Tripti Sen Takuri. Rinji Sepa. Yumna Sikander. Nalini Patricia Singh. David Skidmore. Mohammed Hassan Shariar Shumon. Rameshwar Tanduka. Carol Utens.
I now invite Dr. Susan Westrard, our Sydney Campus Academic Manager, to present the graduates in the discipline of Criminology and Justice to Dr. Ellis, our Dean.
Dr. Ellis, I present to you candidate for the Bachelor of Policing and Justice, Rebecca Tassoni.
Thank you, Dr. Westrard. I'd now like to introduce and welcome our occasional speaker for today's ceremony, Kerry Little. Kerry migrated to Australia in her youth and has spent more than 25 years in the corporate world in Australia, UK, Europe, before deciding to leave her senior executive role to study undergraduate psychology at ACAP. Kerry graduated from ACAP with a Bachelor of Psych Honours in 2015 and went on to complete a Master of Clinical Psychology with ACAP as well. Her thesis, entitled "It Kind of Sort of Crept Up, Australian Lesbians Talk Intimate Partner Violence," won the 2017 APS Psychology of Diverse Bodies, Genders and Sexualities Award. Now an endorsed clinical psychologist, Kerry has been a volunteer counsellor with Youth at Risk and LGBTQ+ community members since the mid-1980s and continues to be passionate about those communities and mental health support. Please join me in welcoming Kerry Little.
What a mouthful, right? Good afternoon, official ACAPians and honoured guests, and good afternoon, graduates. Firstly, I'd like to pay my respects to the traditional owners of the land we stand on and to the Indigenous leaders past, present and emerging. Congratulations, graduates, on completing your studies, or at least this part of your studies. Well done. You are now ready to step out into your field and contribute to our help-seeking communities. How exciting. If you're anything like I was when I graduated, though, you may also find it a little bit daunting to think you are now going to apply your learning in a real-world setting. So let me tell you a little bit about my story. As the bio said, I completed my psychology degrees at ACAP from undergraduate through to my master's. My master's placement and my thesis reconnected me with two of my passions, working with youth and adolescents and with working with the LGBTQ+ community. So knowing that, on graduation, I carefully considered my next steps. I knew where I wanted to work and what I needed to do. And then I promptly applied for every single psych job that I saw advertised anywhere doing anything. I completely freaked out. Happily for me, the Department of Education thought I was a good fit for them, and now I work 5 days a week in the Department of Education as a school psychologist. Now, I've also picked up some online work doing private practice. In the evenings, I supervise some 5+1 psychology students, I supervise a social worker, and I've recently returned to some teaching in ACAP. Now, why do I tell you that? Well, what I want to let you know is that there is plenty of work, plenty of varied work, lots of opportunity and lots of different things you can do now that you have graduated with these skills. I will say, though, that it is in schools that I have my home and where I believe I do some of the most important work. In 1904, which is probably around about the time I was born, G. Stanley Hall described adolescence as a time of storm and stress. It's the same, a time of rebellion and conflict with parents, increases in mood disruptions, emotional volatility, increased risk-taking behaviour. And the big issues now of climate change and global pandemics, when you add them to the ongoing social comparison issues that come through our social media channels, as well as the usual academic performance worries, and we have nothing but a mountain of pressure for our young people. And we cannot forget that the leading cause of death between 2014 and 2018 in young people between 14 and 23 was suicide. The Department of Education expects around 2 to 5% of school students to present to the school counselling service. I work in an all-girls school where 85% of the population are migrants and refugees or first-generation Australians. 90% of the population is bilingual, mainly Arabic, and it is socially, economically diverse. As a result, we have closer to 25% of our students presenting to the counselling services, and we're a school of about 1,100 students. Presentations range across depression and anxiety, trauma, self-harm, suicide ideation, emerging personality disorders, early psychosis, learning disorders, autism, ADHD, loads of things. And of course, a lot of eye rolling. And sometimes that's just me, because I'm listening to yet another friendship misdemeanor of how somebody doesn't like the right K-pop band, whoever they are. School counsellors and psychologists sometimes get a bad rap because of how the department utilised this role in the past. Many people think it's just a hand-holding service, but it is a true psychological practice within an enormous systems framework. We liaise constantly with external services from DCJ or Facts and Docs, as you might have known them, Headspace, Barnardo's, the Girls' Refuge, you name it, Anglicare, Reconnect, lots of different services. But we also sit and practice our CBT and our ACT and our schema therapy and our narrative therapy. We do more and more and learn more and more so that we can assist our young people in navigating their worlds. It can be stressful. I've made 6 mandatory reports this week. Actually, I made one just before I came here today. But it's also extremely rewarding and full of fun and laughing and silliness. It's a space for me to continually engage my humour, although they may not think that's what it is, and all the passions I retain from my youth, like talking about music and movies, now Netflix and SBS On Demand, of course, and hanging out. The breadth and the diversity of the role challenges me, and I'm continually using what I learned. And I'm also continually learning. I wouldn't swap this role for my old corporate life for anything. Colleagues, and we are now colleagues, your new work communities are waiting for you and your skills. You have lots to contribute. Your employers know that you're a new graduate, and while that means you have lots of practical things to learn or skills to hone, your workplace will also be excited to have someone with fresh eyes, fresh ideas, someone who's recently completed some research and actually read up-to-date papers. They are eager for your compassion and your support. We live in a complex world and need others to help us navigate life, and where possible, to turn a life into something meaningful and fulfilling, just as you have done by completing this part of your studies. Again, I congratulate you and look forward to meeting many of you out in the helping world. Thank you.
Thank you, Kerry. I'm sure everybody, I know I certainly did, enjoyed hearing your story, and we can draw some wonderful inspiration about where the ACAP education can take people into the future. So thank you very much. Please have a small token of our gift. And now, as they say, on with the show. We continue with the presentation of awards in the disciplines of psychological science. I invite Professor Catherine Nicholson-Perry, Discipline of Psychological Science Chair, to present the graduands to Dr. Ellis, our Dean.
Dr. Ellis, I present to you candidates for the Bachelor of Psychological Science. Azita Adaloptia Ian. I told you I'd ruin it. Upali Amarasinghe Arachige. Catherine, or as she's otherwise known, Kat Chingo Bailey. Deborah Banks. Nicola Katz. Stacey Kim Coleman. Karina Dreesen. Tania Datta. Douglas Stanley Fairbanks. Elise June Friedewald. Beth Hardwick. Ezgi Kara. Susan Casa. Natasha Kachowski. Amy Rose Muir. Maimuna Nakajira. Benjamin Segal. Wazala Shersi. Katerina Yelna Skenda. Jordan Rogers Smith. Sharon Ann Vendrasco. Dr. Ellis, I present to you candidates for the Bachelor of Psychological Science and Counselling. Jordan Cynthia Lynch-Walters. Dr. Ellis, I present to you candidates for the Bachelor of Psychological Science, First Class Honours. Angela Jane Colson. Monica Linnea Erickson. Freya Louise Hunter. Jacob Leo McNamara. Dr. Ellis, I present to you candidates for the Bachelor of Psychological Science, Second A Class Honours. Nikki Alexilopoulos. Sorry. Aidan Douglas Broadbent. Matthew De Gregorio. Shaykh Jamal Hamidi. Adshaya Shakar. Melissa Jane Strangers. Dr. Ellis, I present to you candidates for the Bachelor of Psychological Science, Second B Class Honours. Vivian Lee Chartefilis. Sanya Hurl. Dr. Ellis, I present to you candidates for the Graduate Certificate, of Psychological Science. Piyush Bhatt. Samuel Joshua Gonzaga. Paul Niranjan Regis. Dr. Ellis, I present to you candidates for the Graduate Diploma of Psychological Science. Stira Avon. Sorry, no. Stira Avon. So, oh, it's very different. Oh, okay, all right, sorry. Now, just to make sure you're all awake, I present you candidates for the Graduate Certificate of Psychological Science again. Stephen John Taylor. Dr. Ellis, I present to you the rest of the candidates for the Graduate Diploma of Psychological Science. Radhe Buvada. Veronica Campbell. Eloisa Grace Cullington. Christine Ann Della. Natalie Anne-Marie Nagget Gintu. Gehan Mackay. Jennifer Louise Mason. Jason Peter Petrides. Nicholas Paul Samwan. Ronella Slua. Stephanie Teixeira. Dr. Ellis, I present to you candidates for the Master of Psychology Clinical. Ashley Simon Adolph. Justin Joseph Catania. Francesco Causo. Joel Barry Cowling. Denise Dagley. Emma Lucy Jeffcott. Tiola Lee London. Elizabeth Ann Menadue. Monique Meredith. Sally Joan Roseby. Isabella Grace Rosenthal. Murray Tahan. Brianna Grace Tui.
Thank you, Professor Nicholson-Perry. Congratulations to all our graduates. I now invite Dr. Ellis to deliver the charge to graduates. Would all graduates please stand?
Well, congratulations. Today, you stand before this assembly to be acknowledged as joining the ranks of your scholarly peers. In today's ceremony, you have been clothed in the symbols of scholarship, your cap, gown, and parchment, to indicate to the wider community of scholars and to the public at large that you have reached the completion of your studies with us. As ACAP graduates, we charge you with the mission to seek out your place in the human services industries and pursue meaningful, sustainable, and successful careers. You do us proud to succeed in your studies, and through this public acknowledgement of your achievement, we send you forward as graduates and as ACAP alumni. Honoured guests, colleagues, friends and family, I present to you our newest ACAP graduates. Oh, whoop it out.
Thank you, Dr. Ellis. Please be seated, graduates. ACAP recognises student academic achievement through the award of various certificates, prizes and medals. I invite the Sydney Campus Academic Manager, Dr. Sue Westrard, to present the award recipients to Dr. Ellis.
For each graduating cohort of a higher education course, we acknowledge the graduates with a grade point average of 6.75 or higher with merit. We also acknowledge the graduate with the highest grade point average who is dux of their course. Dr. Ellis, I present to you the following Student Excellent Award recipients. Deborah Banks, Bachelor of Psychological Science with merit. Angela Colson, Bachelor of Psychological Science, Honours with Merit. Monica Erickson, Bachelor of Psychological Science, Honours with Merit. Ashkay Shakar, Bachelor of Psychological Science, Honours with Merit. Christine Della, Graduate Diploma of Psychological Science with Merit. Jason Patedris, Graduate Diploma of Psychological Science with Merit. Bachelor of Policing and Justice, Dux, Rebecca Tassoni. Bachelor of Social Work Honours, Dux, Alice Jean Langton. Bachelor of Psychological Science Honours, Dux with Merit, Jacob McNamara. Each campus recognises the top-ranking student on the basis of grade point average across all degrees and across all campuses. Dr. Ellis, I present to you the Bachelor of Psychological Science Dux with Merit, Sydney Campus valedictorian and ACAP medal winner, Catherine Bailey.
Thank you, Dr. Westrade and Dr. Ellis. I now call on Professor Nicholson-Perry for the next presentation.
Every year, the Australian Psychological Society recognises academic excellence in fourth-year psychology programs. The prize is presented to the top student in the honours year in all higher education institutions where there is an accredited course in psychology. The APS announces award recipients in the February 2021 issue of InPsych, the Society's bi-monthly bulletin, and the successful recipient of the APS prize receives 12 months complimentary membership for the 2021-22 APS membership year. On behalf of the Australian Psychological Society, I would like to congratulate this year's APS prize recipient, Angela Colson.
Congratulations, Angela, and thank you, Professor Nicholson-Perry, for presenting the award. The graduation ceremony would not be complete without a word from the graduates themselves. On behalf of this year's ACAP graduates, I invite Kat Bailey back to the stage to give the address.
Never spoken into one of these before. What a treat. Hi everyone. For those who don't know me, my name is Kat and I studied the Bachelor of Psychological Science here at ACAP. I feel so honoured to have been given this opportunity to speak at graduation today, and I also feel pretty nervous because I'm sure we can all agree that public speaking is terrifying. But even though I knew I would be nervous, I decided to face my fears and be brave. The same way that I decided to face my fears of higher education and was brave enough to enroll at ACAP 3 years ago. And it was the best decision I ever made. So, while I might be standing up here feeling self-conscious and relatively alone, I know that I definitely didn't get here alone. And so I wanted to take the time to give my thanks and appreciation to everyone who has helped me and my fellow students out along the way. First, I'd like to thank ACAP for being the best uni ever. I've genuinely enjoyed my time studying with this uni. I loved how the small class sizes allowed us to feel like we were more than just a number. And it also allowed us to really get to know our educators. And so, of course, I want to thank our educators. It's because of the knowledge and the passion that each of our educators holds, which has helped us as students to reach our learning goals. I know from my own personal experience that there were certain subjects I dreaded doing, such as statistics, but these actually became some of my favourite subjects, and that was all because of how amazing the educator was. Without our educators, the content that we learn would just be words on a page. It's because of our educators that these words on a page have meaning, and so thank you. And I wish I could thank each educator personally. But I will have to settle for a group thank you because I only have 5 minutes. I must also acknowledge the support from my family, from my mum and my partner who are here with me today, and also from my dad who is watching this on live stream, or at least he better be. After all, my family are the ones who put up with my tears and my tantrums and my screaming, I can't do it. Thank you for not disowning me. But I am in honours now, so the worst is yet to come. And lastly, but most importantly, I want to thank you, my cohort, my colleagues, my fellow students. I would not be here today if it weren't for your support and friendship. I'm so grateful that I've been able to meet some of the most incredible people and also be lucky enough to call you my friends. Thank you for showing me that higher education doesn't have to be scary and for leading the way with your hard work and dedication. It's so good to be able to look out and see familiar faces and to know that what I'm looking at is the future industry of psychology, of social work, of criminology, of academia, and so much more. I am confident that the future workforce will be a successful one because that future workforce lies in your capable hands. And I look forward to seeing all of your future achievements, and I look forward to meeting more of you and finding out how ACAP has influenced your lives. But while I do look forward to the future, because it's normal to look forward to whatever's coming next, I think that sometimes we can get so caught up with what's next and forget about what's now. So I encourage all of us to not only look forward, but to also look back and acknowledge just how far we've all come. We should be so proud of ourselves, not just because we're graduates, but because we are graduating after one of the hardest years ever. I mean, we studied through a pandemic, guys. We studied through a pandemic and we won. So I hope we can take this moment and take today to acknowledge our achievements and how far we've come, to be proud of ourselves and be proud of each other, and to celebrate with our loved ones and our families. If I had a drink, I would cheers you all, but I don't. So instead, I'll just say, we did it. Thank you.
thank you, Kat. It's always the highlight of the year, I think, for those of us that work in higher education to participate in graduation day, and particularly the speech by one of the graduates. And I think you did a wonderful job in capturing what I'm sure your fellow graduates were sharing your sentiments. So well done and thank you. Well, we are almost at the end of the formal proceedings, and I'd like to thank our distinguished guests, our academic staff, our professional staff, and all those who have made this graduation ceremony possible. I think, as Kat just indicated, it's been a most extraordinary past 12 months, and for our staff that are responsible for organising graduation ceremonies, they are so committed to making it a special day, and not knowing when we could do it, how we could do it, how many people, certainly added a dimension to it. And we want to tell you particular thanks to those that have persevered and got us here today to enjoy this wonderful ceremony. I also, before closing, want to, of course, extend congratulations to the graduates, but I want to particularly thank and recognise the people on the other side of the room, the families, the friends, the supporters. I know when I went back to study after bombing out as an undergraduate, it was the family, the friends, the mum and the dad that made the difference. And so whilst our graduates have made it to class, handed in the essays, done that work, it's the rest of you here today and those supporting and watching online that we want to pay an extra thanks to. Your support, your love, everything you've done to help these people is truly extraordinary. And so if the graduates could join me in putting our hands together to thank family and friends. Well done, folks, and remember, some of them are going on to masters and further study, so we can do it again. On that note, I would like to just quickly remind people that regalia does need to be returned by 5 o'clock. And once again, to offer our congratulations and thank you to all of our graduates, to all families, to all friends, for everyone to making this a special day of celebration. Would you please stand for the academic recession, and after the academic recession, our graduates will follow us out. That concludes the ceremony. Thank you very much, folks.